Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be hosting the ultimate LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Express battle between the 2018 Hogwarts Express, which retailed for $100 Canadian, set number 75955, against the 2022 LEGO Harry Potter Collector's Edition Hogwarts Express, set number 76405, which retails for a whopping $620 Canadian. With tax, it is $700 Canadian, and it comes with 5,129 pieces, where the 2018 one comes with 801 pieces. Right off the bat, you can really see a difference in the size between both of these models. We have the smaller one here, which honestly, in comparison to the larger model, looks like a toy car. And then, of course, we have the larger model. It is gigantic. I'm very far away from my microphone at this point, trying to, keep the audio consistent, but it is very, very huge, and it extends to almost 2 meters in length, which is ginormous compared to this little cute toy car, if you will. The 2022 model comes with 20 minifigures, where most of them are just repetitive minifigs featuring Hermione Granger. And would you look at that, another Hermione Granger. And of course we have a couple Ronald Weasleys, and the most appealing part of the set, an army of Harry Potters, featuring Harry with broken glasses from the Half-Blood Prince. And then we have Draco Malfoy from the Half-Blood Prince. We have another Harry in the back. We have a Ravenclaw student. And all of these Harrys are scaring away Dementors. I mean, it's supposed to be the opposite effect there, but honestly, more than 0 Harry Potter minifigs in any set is honestly extremely terrifying. And this is a sight for sore eyes. This is incredible. I'm so excited to get 4 more Harrys in my collection. On a more serious note though, I guess the older Harry is actually quite nice to get. It's pretty cool, and I believe he looks just like James Potter, so that's accurate, I guess. Apart from that, it is quite nice to get like a Hufflepuff student there, the Ravenclaw student that we saw before, Ronald Weasley's, of course, and most notably, a minifig that we've never received before, the train conductor, along with Remus Lupin. And of course, Harry Potter's children. Now, it is very obvious that they have Harry's genes, because they quite literally have repetitive, redundant parts from previously seen minifigs for the most part. So that's pretty fantastic. Not really. And lastly, we have Ginny Weasley, a redundant Luna Lovegood, and Lily Luna Potter. So yeah, it still kind of creeps me out that Harry named his children after all his friends and dead people. So way to go, Harrys. Well done. And with these minifigs, of course, we're going to be comparing them all against the minifigs included in the 2018 set. Now we just have Harry Potter here. Only one Harry, thankfully, so that's great. We have one Hermione, one Ronald, we have Remus Lupin, which I love. That minifig is so cool. And we have the Dementor, of course, generic, but really cool regardless, because you can have an army of them without feeling bored, unlike Harry. And lastly, we have the Trolley Witch Lady right there. Now, in all honesty, less is more in this case, because honestly, in my opinion, 6 minifigs is very fair for a set that costs $100, whereas 20 minifigs, where 80% of them are just repetitive, redundant versions of characters from different movies, isn't really, I guess, remarkable. Especially because this set is ginormous and very, very expensive. So yeah. Now for this comparison, we're going to start off by comparing the platforms included in both of these sets, and lastly, the train itself. So let's get right into it. First off, we have a look at the 2018 platform, which I think looks quite nice. It is very simple. We have the 9 and 10 signs there. We have the King's Cross Station. We have the clock there, of course. And we also have this little Hogwarts Express stickered piece there. And of course, the Daily Prophet flyers and Sirius Black. Now, this is an entire single entity on its own. It's not like connected to anything, luckily, unlike the 2022 models, which is actually connected to the train itself. I guess it's to add to the whole D2C factor, because at the very front there, we have the D2C plaque, which basically says all the details about the Hogwarts Express, which is quite nice. Feel free to read it on your own. It's very, very nice. It's a sticker, unfortunately, but that is very common for D2C sets like this. Size-wise, for a side-by-side, you can obviously like fit a bunch of minifigs here, and the size compared to this here is quite small. So this is like ground level, and this here is kind of risen on a platform for platform 9 3/4, no pun intended. I really like the quote there at the very top of the platform. Dad, what if I'm put in Slytherin? If you're not in Slytherin, you're so lame. On this side, we have the Hogwarts Express, a stickered piece, which is exactly what we see here, except this stickered piece in 2018 is slightly outdated to this one with the golden rim, and we pretty much have the exact same thing on the other side there. Now, I really love how this platform is all tiled up and smooth with a variety of masonry bricks. That is really awesome compared to this one, which actually looks kind of messy with the tans and the blotchy masonry bricks that doesn't exactly have a continuous factor to it. Whereas here it is quite continuous, very sleek, very nice, modern finish there. For the purpose of sharing with you guys the other side, I've decided to disconnect the platform itself from the train, which is actually connected via those technicals. But on the other side, you pretty much just have the exact same thing, except for these rods here, which I think adds a nice round effect to the build here. And of course, the Technic pins at the very bottom. Now, comparing these two together, I would definitely say that the 2022 model is so much cooler than this one here. However, the 2018 model offers more playability with the staircase there and the King Cross Station sign, whereas this one is obviously a display piece. Honestly, I'm a fan of display pieces, so this one here from 2022 takes the cake for me and wins this little battle. With the platforms out of the way, let's move on to comparing the trains themselves. Now, judging by the camera angle here for the comparison, it is extremely obvious which of these Hogwarts Express sets is more expensive than the other. Obviously, size isn't everything. However, in terms of Lego sets, size is everything. I guess it's a justification factor for the crazy pricing of $700 for the larger scale model compared to the $100 model. But with this side-by-side kind of effect here, I can definitely see where the $700 price point is coming from, only from the size, which is quite disappointing because, again, in my opinion, most normal people like myself can't really, I guess, make room to display such a behemoth of a set there. I know for a fact that I'll have to probably get myself a storage unit to store this thing because it's way too big for any of my shelves or any of my storage spaces. So that is quite unfortunate for me there. I love playing with this Hogwarts Express so much more than playing with this one here. This one just honestly stresses me out because it's so big and it takes up so much room, and every time I look at it, it's like a reminder that I'm running out of space to display my Lego, so that's fun. Now, honestly, an obvious difference is that this $700 model includes a ginormous train track. Now, this train track really stresses me out. I am not a fan of it. It is ginormous, and honestly, it really justifies where the pieces are going. I assume this track itself would probably have somewhere between 500 to 700 pieces, if not more, just to get it all built up. And in general, I guess it kind of like does the trick of putting the train in place and having a nice little display section for it, but it's so long, and it's really hard to just find a place to put it. Now, comparing each of the compartments of the Hogwarts Express on its own, right here we have the 2018 model, which is nice, cute, and compact. A downgrade that I noticed is that here we have an amazing Hogwarts Express printed piece, whereas here, I honestly don't even know what this is. It looks horrendous. Comparing it to the original, like, this is honestly so much cooler, whereas here it's just large for no good reason and just obnoxious to display. On this side, I really love how the wheels move, and of course for the larger model, the wheels can move exactly the same way, if not smoother, than this model right here. Like, you can obviously hear the squeakiness of the wheels, and here they just roll so smoothly, which is just fantastic for a set like this. You also have the crank there, but you just have to roll it, and that's pretty much it for that. If you move this forward, we have the center compartment, which can simply open like so to reveal nothing. We had something in there. it'll just be crowded for no good reason. And I really love this center cart here. I feel like it does the job just right to combine both sections of the train together. At the very back here, we just have the seating for the minifigs, which can actually open like so. So that's awesome. Comparing each compartment together, this is the 2018 one, which is literally so tiny. And this is the larger 2022 middle compartment, which actually has this mountain of coal in the center there. And this entire compartment is pretty much useless. You can't really access anything from the inside. It is mainly like a bunch of coal because, you know, minifigs can't exactly swim in coal and survive, if you will. I guess that was Lego's like justification for that. We also have a sticker there for the Hogwarts emblem, whereas here we had a sticker there, but it seemed so much better and it just fit in together so nicely without having the unnecessary shock of yellow there. In my opinion, a pearl gold would have worked so much better compared to this mustard yellow. Like even here in the 2018 model, they went with a dark tan, which looks phenomenal compared to the larger model, which again carries on this annoying shade of yellow, which I am not a fan of whatsoever. This darker color scheme here looks so much nicer, and it just feels so much more well built and well designed and just easy to just carry around and display compared to this, which is just so big. But we have this huge center compartment. Both of these builds taken into account. As I showed earlier this year, the 2018 model simply has top axis, side axis, and we have all the interiors here, and also room for the candy trolley, which is nice and cute and easy to display. It's very obvious that it is a section of the Hogwarts Express. It doesn't have to be huge and just gigantic, you know, synonyms for huge, to look good. I mean, this is obviously a good example here because this part of the 2022 Hogwarts Express is so big and it's just annoying to just display. But if I were to look at every section in here, the interior though is honestly so phenomenal. Something that's really cool is how they have different quotes here at the top of the Hogwarts Express. So Hermione says, "Has anyone seen a toad?" from the Philosopher's Stone. Ron Weasley, "I think someone's coming aboard." Luna Lovegood, "Rackspurts, your head is full of them." That's funny, I remember that. And each of the compartments features some seating, which is obvious that it's seating compared to the older model, which also had seating, but it obviously wasn't as well done as this here with a more accurate shade of navy blue, which I think is honestly fantastic. Side by side though, this interior takes the cake, but is it really worth the price that we have to pay for it? $700 and a shortage in display space? I don't think so. I think this honestly is the better option. On the other side, just to make things so much cooler, you can actually remove it to show off the doors that are actually slidable for each of the compartments. This is cool, nice, I guess. The doors are pretty nice. They're printed, luckily for us, thankfully. And of course, you can open the door here to access like the little steam engine room and whatnot. And there's also another door right there. And I guess in this door, we actually have a murder mystery because it seems like someone died in there. Yes, the trolley witch actually died, so she was just resting in peace in this compartment, so that was quite sad. And at the very back, we just have the door and the arcs there. And we have the same thing here, the same arc. But it's more simple. With that being said, I would say that in my opinion, the 2018 model is so much more appealing and just easier and nicer for the eye to look at compared to the 2022 model, which just seems way too huge for my liking. I'm really a huge fan of this cute little set. But again, in my opinion, in this case specifically, less is more. In my opinion, the winner of this little comparison challenge thingy is the $100 model. It just seems so much better, and it honestly is worth the price compared to the newer Hogwarts Express, which just honestly just annoys me because the color scheme is not really cool. I don't like the usage of yellow. I wish they used pearl gold or like a more subtle gold. And the minifig selection is interesting, to say the least. You get to grow your Harry Potter army with all those Harry Potter minifigures included in that set there. And on that, I hope you guys went on to enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on purchasing either of these Hogwarts Express, and if I convinced you to purchase the $100 model before it retires, because, you know, I think you should do that because it's going to retire very soon. On that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.